didn't expect to cry. I am tired. I'm tired, but I really wanted to do this video. I can't even talk. I really wanted to do this video because I wanted to really better capture what life is like right now, because it's hard, to sit down and journal. Even when I do find time to have more time to journal, like if it's usually during one of my baby's naps, I still, there's like other stuff to do, or there's interruptions, or even when I'm like starting to journal, I'm like, I could literally be here for hours on end trying to describe things, and it's just not as adequate. I feel like the beauty of video is you get facial expressions, you get the tone, you just get to capture a bit more of it. And it's easier. Honestly, it's easier for me to talk versus like write out everything, which is why nowadays, if you're my friend and we've been talking, I voice memo more than ever before, because texting, you have to spend more energy paying attention to what you're saying, how you're saying it, to make sure you're conveying like what you're trying to say, versus when you do voice memo or video like this, it's so much easier because you can just like talk and be like, they will better understand what I'm trying to say, basically. But anyway, that's off topic. I just wanted to capture, how's life right now as a first-time mom, 8 months into the journey. We are about 8 months and almost 2 weeks, I believe. It's hard to keep track, but I'm also almost turning 31 years old in just a few days. Actually, fun fact, I actually don't even know how many days because like life nowadays is like, what day is it? What's the date? And all your focus and energy is on getting everything done. Like you're taking care of your baby, doing your top priority, the few top priorities you have, and maintaining, like food and chores, cleaning and organizing, and then just the bare minimum, and then also going on outings and, just trying to fit everything in. It's like, it's a lot. All that to say is my brain space is so limited these days. So I didn't even realize my birthday is coming up until my husband had to remind me a few weeks ago. He was like, oh, your birthday's coming up. I was like, oh, you're right. And then it didn't really hit me until probably this week. I mean, it still hasn't really hit me, but I requested, because my husband was like, oh, like, what do you want for your birthday? And he was like, planning this, he's so sweet. He wanted to plan this getaway because he knows I like to go on these like little staycations just to get time away, and it helps to be on that vacation mindset. But I was telling him, honestly, that feels like work to me, because then I have to pack, or we have to pack and get all our stuff ready and then figure out, it just feels like extra work to travel, especially with our baby. And even if we don't have our baby, it's like, who can we trust, amongst our family or other, like what does that look like, and how will she do? Because she has separation anxiety right now, which is actually a sign of maturity, FYI, if you didn't know. So anyway, I was like, honestly, the most relaxing thing is just to get time alone. Like if you can watch our daughter and I can go to the spa, that would be a dream come true. Or maybe I can go to the beach, or maybe the park, whatever it is. I just, you hear this before you have a baby, you're like, wow, why do moms need alone time? Why do they why is the bathroom like sacred time for them? And it's because you're just like on 24/7. Well, not 24/7, not when you're sleeping. Well, actually, technically, even if you're interrupted in the middle of the night, yes, also while you're sleeping. But it's just like your brain, the mental load is so real that you're like constantly, your baby, what do they need? And why are they fussing? And okay, what's the next thing to do and prepare? And errands to run, and then, oh, things to restock. And it's just like, there's no break, so it's so important. We have been trying to be more intentional, and especially for me, this is a muscle I've been practicing over the years. It's so important, so important. I've been reading when I do have pockets of time to read, hearing from other parents, and just understanding more and more how truly important it is to fill up my cup, to make sure I am rested, to take breaks without guilt, to actually believe and understand and rewire the belief systems I grew up with, of like guilt and self-neglect, and like not wanting to ask people to do things, for like favors, because I feel bad. And then, oh, will my husband think I'm a bad wife or mom if I ask him to watch our baby? Like all these false beliefs that are just really keeping me stuck and trapped. So I've been intentionally working on breaking those. And my husband, he's like the best. He's the best. He's like, I'm so proud of you for breaking generational cycles and curses, because I requested for my birthday. At the end of the day, I was like, honestly, if you want me to be honest, I want a spa treatment for I want a facial, I want a head massage, and I want a foot massage. Like those are my top 3 favorite, like, you know, massage or just like touchy-feely places. And so I do feel a bit bad. Like he did all this research looking up all these like spas and massages in the area, and I was like, I don't really want, I don't really care for this. Like, I don't really want that. I want very specifically like facial, head, and foot. And anyway, we worked together, we collaborated, and I am going to have that tomorrow afternoon for 2.5 hours, which is the longest spa treatment I've ever had. And if this would have happened before, like before having a baby, I would have felt like, wow, this is like really going all out. Is this okay? Like, I don't know. But now, let me just tell you guys, I feel like, yes, I deserve, or I need this, you know, I need this. This is good for me and this is good for my family, because a filled up mom means I can pour out even more. I can give the best version of myself to my baby, to my husband, to my friends, and everyone else in my life. And yeah, I just feel like I've definitely grown so much in this area of realizing how important self-care is as a mom. Anyway, let's cut to some questions that I actually asked ChatGPT to give me some questions to answer, because I actually realized like I kind of free flow the best that way instead of just rambling whatever direction. Like that could just go all different directions. I asked ChatGPT to give me some questions to answer to capture what life is like right now, and hopefully give other people, if you're interested in watching this, some insights on what real life is as a mom. Because again, people just don't talk about these things on social media, which is why I'm so passionate and why I love making these videos, even though I am more strapped for time and energy than ever. And I know it's going to only continue to be so for, you know, the time being. But also like if we have more kids in the future, I don't know. I just feel like it's so important for me. Like this is a form of self-care for me. And also it is a priority for me to document so that I can look back and see my progress and my growth as a mom. But I can also share all the things that I feel like are not being shared openly on the internet. Or just in general for other moms, other first-time moms and expecting moms. So I will also say, if you have any other questions for me to answer in future videos, feel free to drop them in the comments. We can just chat. It's like a mom chat. So I want this to be interactive as much as possible. Number 1 is, what's one tiny ordinary moment with your baby that took your breath away recently? This is very specific. I mean, there are so many. I feel like every day there are these micro moments that are just so magical, and I just like, I see them with my eyes and I feel them in my heart, and I'm just like, I wish I had a camera like inside my eyes to just capture all these little moments. And I do try to capture. I think I do a pretty relatively good job like trying to capture moments here and there with my phone, but I also don't want to be on my phone all the time. So anyway, there are so many more moments that I don't capture, but I just experience, and I'm just like, I want to be like, what is it Cam Jansen? From when I was a kid, I read this book where she would just like click with her eyes and have like photographic memory. Anyway, I wish I was like her. Like I could just like click and just like save with my eyes. Anyway, I think one in particular that really comes to mind that I actually did capture with my phone actually. So I replayed the video over and over. Maybe I'll insert a clip right here actually. She's like roaring like a lion with my husband. They're like going back and forth. I didn't show him because he wasn't decently dressed, but they were like going back and forth, and she's just getting more and more just interactive and lively and playful. And ever since, especially like she started crawling about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now she loves to like pull up to stand or trying to stand. But even if she holds on to something, she can stand by herself and just like hold on to it. And I was like, how did that happen? Because you just started crawling. So anyway, it's just like these little things where you see like, wow, she's really becoming like a person. And that clip was just, I don't know, my heart. I just kept watching it over and over again. Like, she is so adorable and so cute. And how does she even make that noise? Like, I couldn't even imitate that noise. She's literally like, it's like 2 dinosaurs. I'm living with 2 dinosaurs. So anyway, little moments like that. And then I guess earlier today during, before her first nap, I was like learning, I've learned actually just recently, I was like, oh, I wish I knew this a lot sooner. The wind down period before naps should actually be quite long. Like I didn't know, like winding down. I guess I just in the past haven't like done that long enough, or like oftentimes when I would put her down, she would be really fussy or crying and just upset. And I always thought, oh, maybe it's just like separation or overtired or whatever. But I started like today, especially, I started to wind her down earlier, which is I would turn off the lights and turn on the sound machine, the white noise, get her in her sleep sack like 15 to 20 minutes before her predicted like when she would fall asleep, and just lay in bed with her together and just kind of chill, like literally chill, like don't do anything. And that has actually worked today. Like she has actually gone down without really fussing and crying. And anyway, like before today's first nap, she just like smiled at me, and like these little smiles and moments, and or even I guess in the morning, like when I wake up and she's awake, I'll just like look over, her crib is next to our bed. I'll just look over and she just gives like the biggest smile. It's like so cute. I can't. Anyway, okay, that's question number one. Let me move on. It's just these little moments that are just so magical. Number two, what's a struggle or frustration you didn't expect to feel at this stage of motherhood? Wow, there's so much. I think one big one, and I've mentioned this before, is really like the physical toll. Like I really feel tired because it's like you're just moving a lot. You're on your feet, which is why I cannot wait for my foot massage. You're on your feet doing things. You're carrying your baby up and down. You're, moving her from, oh, she's like about to grab something. You're moving her away, or you're moving her into the playpen. You're picking her up from the playpen. So there's just like so much physical movement, but then also the mental load of like, you're trying to like monitor like how she's doing, what she needs at all times, even while you're trying to do chores or other things. Yeah, I feel like it is just like the physical mental load, especially now that she is mobile. It actually does make a big difference because yeah, it's like another layer. I feel like I've gone up that level now, which it's interesting though. I don't feel like it's too hard. Like I do recognize like this growing confidence as a parent of like, okay, we got this, we can do this. But also the duality of like the recognition that it is getting harder. So relatedly, I actually this week just started recommitting myself to consistently working out, which is like such a big deal. If you work out consistently, good for you. You may not understand the struggle. Like if you grew up with that culture, I did not grow up in a workout culture at all. I hated exercise, hated PE, like just disliked physical activity. I did dance classes, but I don't know. I also wasn't good at endurance. Like I remember vividly, like my ballet teacher would say like, oh wow, like she needs to work on her endurance. So physical movement has never been a very positive area in my life, but my husband has been my like personal loving accountability and trainer, basically my coach. And I actually got reconvicted recently by watching a interview on the Diary of a CEO podcast, which I find it really interesting. And this is the second time now it has given me like the fuel or the spark to make major changes in my physical health. Yeah, I recommitted. I was like, I want to go back to doing workout classes, with my husband. And do you think we could bring our baby? And, at first I was like, oh, so many mental hurdles. And my husband was like, yeah, let's do it. And he was so excited and he was so proud of me. And it's just the best. So we brought our baby to our HIIT workout this past Tuesday. And I was like so nervous going there because, it's kind of like first day of school vibes. Like, oh, I'm the new kid. I'm so bad at this. I'm so rusty. I haven't worked out in a workout class like this in over a year, since I was pregnant. My first trimester, I completely just like fell off the wagon. Second trimester, tried to go back into it a bit, realized it was like really hard and intense being pregnant, and also being anxious about like, are these okay? Like these modifications or whatever. So I just like gave myself a lot of grace and didn't do consistent like workout classes. And now I'm back. It was just an interesting experience because we put our baby in a stroller, but she has separation anxiety or growing separation anxiety at this stage. So she's like watching us warm up and she's like so curious about everything going on. And we put earmuffs on her to like help her not, be scared of the blaring music and the sounds. But then she's old enough too she's like very curious, so she like wants to take off the earmuffs to like listen, but then it's like really loud and it scares her, and she has separation. So anyway, she lasted like maybe 10 minutes. After the warm-ups, she basically was crying and I had to put her in my carrier. And I basically had a 22-pound weighted vest on me the entire time trying to do modifications. And then my husband and I decided, yeah, it's probably more efficient and optimal to maximize if we just go separately. So now we're alternating days for the workout classes, but then the trade-off is then because of her nap schedule right now, she's on 2 naps. She just recently transitioned to 2 naps. After she wakes up from her last nap, basically it would be like one parent handling everything, you know, from feeding and install lids and cleanup and bedtime routine and like everything. My point in mentioning the workouts is that I really want to have more endurance and energy and strength to be able to handle life, you know, with a baby and soon to be toddler, to keep up with her and potential future children, but then also for my own health and well-being and longevity. But what I need to be starting to work more intentionally towards and also figure out a way to do this, because I recognize what's causing it too, is I've been sleeping late. And I think that's also why I'm tired, because, you know, during the day, I just have like barely any time to do the things that I actually want to or need to do. And I also don't want to spend all my time on my phone and computer, but like there are things like this, you know, that I want to edit and film and record and just personal admin and all this stuff. So I've been trying to find a balance, you know, I don't know if balance is a realistic word, but just like a way to do what I can during a day while also being available and, you know, to tend to my baby and all the things I need to get done. And then also letting go of things that technically it's okay not to get done, which is like a lot of things that I just have to put to the side, you know, to these days and for later. Allocating enough time at the end of the day after our baby goes down for bed, and then but then also spending time with my husband to connect and like cultivating our relationship, because that's really, really important. We cannot like raise a healthy family if our marriage is unhealthy, but then also have alone time. And also if we want to like watch a movie, which we've said we wanted to watch a movie for so many days on end, and it hasn't happened in like over maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks. So time is so limited. Yeah. So then what happens is I tend to do this, what's called like reverse procrastination or reverse, I forgot what it's called, but revenge procrastination or something, where you just like stay up late because you're like, I need to have my own time that I didn't have for the whole rest of the day. And so then I stay up so late. My husband goes to sleep and he like misses me in the bed and he's like, come to sleep. And I'm like, okay, I'll come. And then time just flies by and it's like 12:30 or like 1 a.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? I'm going to regret this tomorrow when I'm tired again. So that's been my conundrum these days. Okay, moving on. So number 3, which part of yourself do you notice changing the most since becoming a mom? Your patience, your perspective, your priorities. All of those. It's hard to pick the most because I just think everything has changed. I've completely changed and am changing as a person. And I think one really big one, and I'm just thinking about this because I'm doing this video right now, is like just really releasing the need to be perfect or be put together and really just being okay. Like not just being okay, but actually embracing the mess as something that's good, that is actually part of life. You know, the fact that I'm just being myself and not being super articulate, you know, fumbling around all my words. And there's just so much I think I've learned, especially going through postpartum and my whole experience, which you can, you know, if you watch my old videos, you can get a glimpse of, which is like, I really learned that being vulnerable and being myself is actually the key to getting to the next level and like growing, because it opens myself up to be real with other people. And then I also get their perspective and insights, and it humbles me to like lean on others and God. And it's exactly how we're made to be. You know, I think really this day and age of social media and Instagram and filters and over editing people's lives and putting people's lives on social media and thinking like that is what life is. And also the lack of a village and like seeing people's real life and real messes. It's really like subconsciously subtly damaging, because we don't realize how much that is imposing an unrealistic self-expectation to have everything together, to have our homes and places look picture perfect. I'm just going to share real quick. Like, look at this. I am literally like this is our office. Like everything is a mess. which is why I'm just doing this so it's not too distracting. So yeah, I feel like that has been one of the biggest ways is I just feel so much more comfortable being my real self, being unfiltered, unhinged. In the past, I would be like, oh, this is too much for people. I'm too weird. I need to like be more put together or whatever. And I did have a lot of ways that I held myself to really high standards, my whole life, being really overachieving and going above and beyond, and just really wanted to always have everything be good quality, which is not a bad thing. Like excellence and good quality, those are good things. But it really, like looking back, so much of it, I didn't realize how much of it was also like this fear of like being my real self, my authentic, like messy self, my imperfect self, my self that has challenges still, like there was still a fear underneath the surface of like people aren't going to respect me, or people aren't going to, I don't know, just like that's not good enough. And so I kind of like self-rejected that side of myself a lot and tried to still have everything as together as possible. And I really recognize that in a lot of my friends, and because I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. I went to a top university. I worked in tech. I worked at Google. I mean, most of my life I've been surrounded by overachievers, like high achievers, type A people. I recognize this in a lot of my like fellow type A soon to be mom friends who are asking me like, I need to prepare, I need to do all the things, I feel so overwhelmed, blah blah blah. And it's like, and then also, after they have a baby, like I can sense like, are you okay, or do you not feel safe to share? These are not okay. So, which is why I do my videos, because I want people to know like it's okay to be messy. Like look at me, like I will go first. I will show you how messy it is and how I'm struggling and how I make mistakes all the time and regrets and have regrets. But yeah, I think that is a big thing that I continually see myself shedding and letting go because of motherhood and because of how messy life really is and how it forces you to ultimately choose, like, will I continue to stay trapped in this anxiety and this like chronic need to control as much as I can, or am I actually going to, even though it's scary, but like in faith, surrender and let go of control? And that includes my appearance and my reputation or how I might look to other people compared to other people. So it's a lot of mindset, a lot of internal mindset work, self-awareness, self-compassion that I feel like, especially the past several handful of years, God has already put me on that journey, and it just like skyrocketed, especially this past year, these past 8 months, especially by being a mom. And so I'm really grateful, because I feel like I had a really strong foundation, and like now it's like boom, like supercharged. So I hope my videos on these topics about mindset and self-awareness and growth as a mom can really help, because I feel like there's just like a lack of videos and content out there about this stuff. It's mostly like the external stuff, like do this and do that. And it's like, yeah, of course it's good to do things, for your baby and for yourself. But I think at the end of the day, in life in general, the key lever that will determine your overall experience as a mom in your life in general is your mindset, is your internal ability to attune to your emotions and investigate what's going on internally, and then also know how to manage and navigate that in a non-judgmental way towards yourself. This hasn't happened overnight, guys. Like I've definitely come a long way, but that is another long answer to this question. How are we on time? Okay, I think I'm just gonna do one more question, because I clearly have a lot to say about all of these. Let's pick this one. What's a small habit, choice, or mindset that's helped you survive or even thrive during this stage of motherhood? Yes, this is a good one. I was just thinking about this morning, or actually I think about it a lot. But this morning I was texting my mom about this, because this perspective, I don't know if other moms or other parents think about that much, but I think about all the time, and I find it so helpful. And what I think really has helped me, especially this stage, because My daughter is crawling. She is starting to have a will. Like, you really see it building. Like, she wants to do something. She's determined to do it. She follows me. You know, like, I will go to the bathroom and somehow she finds me. I put her in the living room. I walk to the bathroom and then she's in the bathroom. Like, how did you get here? You know. So definitely there are new challenges when it comes to monitoring my baby and especially feeding. I think out of all things, what tests my patience the most right now is feeding, because I put so much effort in preparing her solids, you know, especially we're doing baby led weaning, and she has come a long way in like learning how to eat. Like, she actually does really well in like grabbing like the long sticks of food and putting it in her mouth. What she really struggles with is the spoon. She does not know how to use a spoon correctly. I don't know if it's a type of spoon, because we used a utensil, which is like a spoon with like, it's hard to describe, but it has like a dent in the middle, and she used to use it actually pretty well. But now we gave her a real like spoon, like a baby spoon that has like the scoop in the front, because we somehow misplaced the other one, and I had this one on hand, and she does not know. I've tried to teach her. I've tried to show her. She just grabs it, throws it on the ground along with all the liquidy things in the spoon. So I'm actually taking the pressure off of myself, because I talked to a mom friend about this yesterday or 2 days ago, and I realized I don't need to go through that right now. Like, she can learn motor skills in other ways. The spoon thing was very, very frustrating, but it was also a good teacher in like helping me stay calm and practice patience, practice empathy and grace, because she's just a baby. She's just learning. She doesn't know how to eat. She doesn't know how to use these things. Like, her skills are still developing. So we stopped using the spoon for now, and I'm just gonna spoon feed her liquid things until she is more ready. But the perspective shift related to this is it ties with like empathy, and it ties with giving myself a future perspective on my present circumstances. So what I mean is, actually, I might just link it in the description below, but I came across this beautiful poem. I don't know if it's like AI generated, but it's really beautiful and spoke to me a lot. Actually, I might just pull it up right now and just read some of it, because I think it's so beautiful. Okay, so this is from Parental Path on Instagram, and it kind of went semi-viral. Like, I've seen other videos and clips talking about this poem, and I've saved it because it is one of my favorite things. I think I'll refer back to it over and over again. So it says, I'm 85 years old, and somehow I woke up in my 36-year-old body. I'm just under 36-ish, just for one day. This time, I knew what to treasure. I hear a tiny voice before I open my eyes. Mama, wake up. I blink. He's standing there, bedhead, pajama pants too short. My little boy, he's small again. He climbs into bed with me, laughing. He wraps his arms around my neck. I used to check the clock, rush the morning, but not today. Today, I hold him, tight, long, and deep. I walk to the mirror. No gray, no wrinkles, no aches in my knees. Just me, 36, tired, but strong. I whisper, you didn't know how radiant you were, but you were. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect to cry. My husband is in the kitchen making coffee. He smiles when he sees me. Younger, softer, so familiar. I wrap my arms around him. This time, I don't let go quickly. We used to rush past each other. Today, I hold him close and whisper, thank you. The kitchen floor is sticky, Lego underfoot, socks on the counter. I used to sigh, feel behind, get frustrated, but now I stand still and just soak it all in. My little son chatters all through breakfast, stories about superheroes, questions about monsters. This time, I listen. I really listen. No phone, no distractions, just him and his beautiful, curious voice. In the car, he sings loudly, kicks a seat, spills his snack. I used to snap. Now I smile and enjoy the moment, because one day this seat will be empty and I'll miss the noise. In the evening, I pick up the phone and I hear my mom's voice. Tears fill my eyes before I said a word. I forget how much comfort lives in her voice. We talked about nothing, the weather, what she is cooking, and it means everything. I tell her I love her. I love her again and again. I don't want to hang up. At bedtime, I didn't rush. He picks his favorite superhero book, the one I've read 100 times. Tonight, I read every single word slowly. And then I ask, one more? He nods. I don't want this night to end. He whispered, you're the best, Mom. I hold his small hand, kiss his soft cheek, whisper how proud I am. His lashes flutter, his chest rises and falls, and I just watch, soaking it in. Tomorrow I'll wake up 85 again, and he'll be grown, busy, bigger, out in the world. But tonight I got this precious moment, and now I know this was joy, this was love, this was everything. If you're living this moment now, don't rush through it. The little hand in yours, the bedtime stories, the mess, the noise, it all matters more than you know. I feel like the last time I cried in my videos on this channel was also because I read something like this that was so just like poignant and touching and relatable. Like it really spoke to me because that is our tendency is to rush and to be like, oh my gosh, why is bedtime taking so long? Why can't you just go to sleep? And oh, what a mess. And there's so many things to get done. And like you spilled things again and I have to clean it up. And you know, there's like so many things that just our gut reaction, we're like very in the moment and we just like see the problem. But this poem is like so beautiful because it just gives you that future perspective and lens that you need to remember what actually matters now and how to have that perspective of like soaking in and enjoying and embracing and relishing, not taking for granted these moments of like your kid being small and spending time together and they're not out and independent in the world by themselves yet. And that is going to happen one day. And I know as I get closer and closer to that over the years, I'm sure this is going to hit me even more deeply in different ways. But yeah, this perspective has helped me so much, like in moments when, you know, she's throwing her spoon down and like there's smoothie or yogurt all over the floor and all over herself, or she's rubbing her hair and there's like yogurt in her hair and her eyes, or she's just crying and being super fussy and clingy and I want to like do the dishes or cook this thing, but I don't want to splatter her. And like so many things, that moments where I'm like remembering she's only going to be this little for so long. Every parent I talk to say it goes by so fast. And I already feel like I blinked. She was a newborn and now she's 8 months old and she's crawling and almost she's going to be walking and talking soon, you know? And I just don't want to, like complain about present challenges and make like hinder me from more fully appreciating the beauty of like what a blessing it is to even have these challenges. And let those challenges, instead of like being frustrated I'm not getting my way, that I want to get stuff done, let me actually like again surrender, like humble myself and let this challenge change me and refine me, give me more patience, give me more empathy, give me more joy and peace as I learn to just be present and anchor myself in what's happening, and also to see my child through the lens of love and through the lens of like she's just a child and her doing this stuff is not defiant. It's not like, I don't know. I've been finding it actually, I feel like I have a grace over me, ironically, but I've been finding it pretty more easy than I expected to have that lens when things don't go my way or things are frustrating. And I see my husband, you know, this is just so opposite, like flipped, because usually his personality in person is he's very calm, he's very easygoing. And before having a baby, like I was the one who was more like, I want like to get everything done. And, you know, but now I feel like it's almost flipped where when our baby does something frustrating, my husband is starting to get frustrated, but he like keeps it inside. And I'm like reminding him like, it's okay. She's a baby and she is learning and like we're helping her learn, and it's okay. She's just exploring, she's, you know, and to have grace for ourselves and our baby as we're all learning and navigating, but not to let our own internal, you know, the triggers coming up for us, like instead of letting that like overtake us. Like how can we press in and be mindful about like what is coming up for me so I can work on it versus like project or like react in a way that's like not good for my child or myself, you know. Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about parenting. So I'm sure I will have much more to say on this topic, more specific things to share in the future. But that's all for now. This video is already a lot longer than I expected, and I only covered 4 questions. So, but I hope that kind of captures a bit more of how life is like these days. I'm just, you know, really going with the strides of learning to be a mom for the first time, coming into my new self, my new role and identity. And it's crazy because it's going to be less than 4 months away that it's going to be a year. We're going to hit a year, and everyone celebrates their 1-year birthday for their baby, and it's like a really big deal. I used to not understand as before becoming a parent. You're like, they don't even remember. They don't even know what a birthday is. They don't remember. But as a parent, it is a big deal because you're like, I freaking survived a year. The hardest year of my life so far, but it's like such a milestone and also so fun to celebrate. Like your baby has grown so much. That's it for now. I will have more videos coming that are a bit more maybe like this, but also other styles. And all in all, I just want to continue sharing things about my life as a mom, the unfiltered, realistic version, but then also helping, you know, ultimately really helping and serving and providing value and insights for other expecting new parents or current new parents who are just like, what's happening and how do I navigate this? And am I alone in this? Because there are just so few safe spaces these days to really be unfiltered like this. So if this helps you at all, please let me know in the comments. I honestly just need the motivation to know that this actually helps other people, because that will give me even more incentive to do these more regularly, because it is hard to find time and motivation and energy. And sometimes I just question myself, like, is this even worth it? Or should I just like record a voice memo for myself or what? Anyway, like and subscribe if this helped you, and comment below if you relate to any of this so I know I'm not crazy, and I will catch you guys in the next one.